welcome to the long and short of it.
Welcome back. Episode 2.
I'm Deanna.
I'm Tim.
Cool.
Yeah. You know how it
And
goes.
to follow up on episode 1 with a little taste of our personalities, we're going to continue with the introductions and talk about how we actually met and became friends.
That's right.
Which
I'm
sure some people know. I've talked about it enough.
Some people.
But
Not everyone that this could reach out to.
yeah, kind of
Kind of.
a duo on campus. So it might
More
be
or
interesting.
less. Yeah.
But
To break the ice.
we're going to start with a Would You Rather, which goes hand in hand because
Oh, yeah.
Tim and I's thing over the past 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
For the past 5 years has been Would You Rathers and arguing over stupid things.
Quality stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear that Would You Rather.
So,
Oof.
that's it.
Wow.
Would you rather
So-
or just...
Or oof.
Yeah. Would you rather, in our lifetime, we discover a sophisticated alien civilization with which Earthlings can learn to communicate, or receive a visit from time travelers from the year 2771?
Damn. I like how we both had to burp.
Why would you give us away like that?
Because I leaned away and then I looked back and you were doing the same thing.
Yeah, I saw you do it, and then I was like, oh,
Oh, I got a burp too now.
I should do that as well. I thought this was interesting just because both are cool, and I can't decide. I can't decide. I say this, it wasn't that hard for me. I know exactly
You
what
say
I
this
picked.
every time.
But yeah, because I'm such a decisive person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Future visitation, or what was the first part?
We discover
species?
a sophisticated alien civilization with
civilization.
which we can learn to communicate with them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Both would be awesome.
Do you know what I would pick?
No.
The
Future? Because aliens are scary.
No. Opposite.
Yeah.
Aliens are cool.
Well, if we talked with them and then worst case scenario, like in all of those movies, they're like, your world is ours now. And we're like, no. And they're like, too bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's always people that are like, we can't even handle
Ourselves.
different races. Yeah. Like, how are we going to handle... I don't care. I want to know, and I think it'd be cool, and they probably know more than us. And by probably, I mean definitely, because we're useless sacks of flesh. So,
We're very new.
we're very boring. I just feel like aliens, they've been around the block. And I feel like that'd be so
What if
cool.
they came and they're like, you guys are so fresh and hip?
Yeah.
We're like, what are you talking about? They were like, we've been here since the Big Bang. We're bored.
Thank God we found you.
Jeez, we've been looking all over for something that's not as old as us.
Yeah, you're the greatest television show we've ever watched. It'll just be...
Show me what you've got.
Yeah, I was going to reference that. Yeah. It's pretty much what it feels like.
Oh my God, what if that's what came out of it? Is Rick and Morty had the prophecy correct?
Yeah.
That they just put us on a TV show, intergalactic TV show, and we just blow up because we can't make a hit song.
We definitely can't currently.
Oh.
But...
Sick burn.
I just feel like it's a sophisticated alien civilization. I don't know what that entails. It could be blobs on another planet, and if I could communicate with it, I'd be like, you're rad. Like,
There's
cool.
a lot of unknowns that goes with it.
Yeah, but think about what that could do for society. You could just progress so many things, and if they know about certain types of, space travel or things in space,
What
there's
if they don't
just...
want to share information?
Why am I communicating with them then?
Because you're trying, but then they're like, nah.
It says a sophisticated alien civilization with which Earthlings can learn to communicate. So,
Communicate as in they can understand what you're saying, and and you can understand what they say back.
yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're willing to share information.
Oh, I know.
That just means that you
But
can
who
understand
cares? Either way.
They're like, tell us your
They
secrets.
may not
And
have-
they're like, no, we
they don't have to.
wanna.
Even just having a conversation yo, do you like
Where
this?
did you come from?
Do you like space croutons? What are space croutons? I don't know, but now I know.
Meteors.
Now I'm really tiny ones, though.
Yeah, they break up in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Maybe. Or maybe they're completely different. Who knows? Maybe they don't even, like, their word
Oh,
crouton
no.
isn't even like our croutons. Maybe it's like,
Zorptron.
sure.
Crouton already kind of sounds alien-like, spacey. Crouton.
Yeah.
The Croutoniums.
Like, maybe it's something else. Some new invention they made, and they were just like, why are you eating all your croutons? Ours are really expensive.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And then they find out that they hold up a crouton, and they're like, this is what you think a crouton is? And then they throw it on the ground and laugh and never come back to us because they think we're plebs. But, still.
Their personalities
Either way,
could be vastly different.
If we receive a visit from time travelers in the year 2771, the possibility of them being complete losers is so...
Aliens could be losers too, you don't know.
Yeah, but at least they'd be otherworldly losers. We're already losers currently. I don't need to be like, we're in the exact same spot 7 centuries from now. Like, what if someone comes back and it's like your neighbor Bob, and he's just like, hey, I live here now. There's
700 years in the future, your neighbor Bob is still alive.
Well, not your neighbor, but I mean, like, your neighbor in the future. Like, they're living in the house next to the plot of land you used to live on. And they're just like, yeah, everything's the same. And, you know, the grass is just dead, and
the grass has turned orange.
We've learned to live in 150-degree heat because you guys never could stop climate change. By the way, get on that. And then, like, I don't know. I'm just worried that I'm putting too much faith in the human.
I mean, you could put
ability.
Too much faith in the interstellar ability of, like,
but there's so many possibilities.
So much about
I don't know, like, even if we find one that's like lame, it'll probably lead us to finding cool ones because
you know. Get there?
I don't care. We're infinite. The world's infinite.
We'll figure that
the
out
galaxy,
in 700 years.
I don't say we had to get there. Maybe we just produce technology over time that we can talk to them.
What if in 700 years the person from the future is like, yo, we make contact with some dope aliens and they hooked us up?
It's possible. I'm all about the now, man. Yo.
Nice.
You know.
Nice and hip.
My hippie lifestyle. I'm just saying, I want to bro it up with some aliens, not Jake from State Farm. 2771.
I was say Jake Paul.
No, definitely not. But
you don't know. Maybe our technology for keeping ourselves alive just exponentially grows, and us now lives till 700.
What if the time travelers from 2771? There's only like 2 of them, and they're like, "Yeah, we're the only 2 left."
Well, that'd be extremely depressing.
Yeah.
What if only 2 aliens came by and they're we're the only 2 things?
What if the time travelers that came back were like babies? And you can't even talk to them.
You're throwing out a lot of random hypotheticals here.
I'm just saying, you gotta think of all the possibilities.
But see, what I'm doing is I'm throwing them back at you in terms of an alien, and you're just kind of like, yeah, but that's not as cool to me.
But aliens are cool. Because the thing, my thing is, at least aliens, even if they're lame, at least they're unknown and new.
They're different and cool.
But like people, what are they gonna tell me that a movie hasn't already told me?
Reality.
We're gonna have
the future.
Hover cars, cool. Just more ways for people to die now in the air.
Maybe they come up with technologies to keep people from not dying from falling in the air. Like
Good
that
luck.
Of Rick and Morty where they have the amusement park, and as long as you're in that bubble, you don't die.
Yeah, well, it's 2018 and we haven't come up with anything good in 200 years, so. Okay, that's a lie. We came up with cool stuff. But nothing to protect us from dying like that. Except for, like, vaccines.
Because, you know,
and
that
medication.
Yeah, I was going to say there were
but
other
we haven't
priorities.
Besides, like, smartphones and, like, the technology we're moving towards now, have we really done anything that cool?
Internet.
I meant prior to, that was, like, because they were, like, cool inventions, but they were practical. I'm trying to think of purely recreational.
Well, that's not what the business is for. We're not doing recreational things. But
that's what everyone boasts about about the future in movies. They're like, oh, we got these sick hoverboards, and
because they're living in a utopia where they have no worries in life, so they can spend that money.
And if that's not the outcome in 2771, I don't want to know. If I'm not living the Jetson life, what's the point? I won't be living anyway, unless we figure out in the next 80 years how to live more than 100. To be 100 or 120, I guess is the max that anyone's ever made it.
Yeah, something like that.
Then I won't make it anyway. So what's that knowledge going to bring to me?
What if they came from the future and they're like, Deanna, you are the chosen one. Come back with us.
Could I? Would the laws dictate that I could go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, if it's written in...
But then does the rest of my life in my current day cease to exist?
Well, I assume you would be brought back.
Oh.
To continue, to close that time loop.
Yeah.
There. It wouldn't just bring you 700 years in the future to live out the rest of your life. But even so, if that was...
But what am I chosen for? What am I going to do?
I don't know. It's the future. Anything could happen. It could be a dystopia. It could have been a utopia that you wanted.
Oh, don't find me. I don't want to be the chosen one and like something bad. I want to be some good. Like, you're the chosen one to eat all the mac and cheese you've ever wanted from all over the galaxy. Like, yeah, I want to be that chosen one. But I don't want to be the chosen one that's like, you have to kill all of these monsters. Otherwise...
kill.
Okay, you have to...
Because you brought aliens to our home planet, they destroyed everything.
I'm okay with that. It doesn't affect me.
But it does now, because now you're getting dragged into it.
Yeah. I just think aliens will, like, further discovery. And and just, like, prolong learning for years to come, and I think that's cool. Just think about your kid or your grandkid or your great grandkid, grandkid, majoring in like alien civilization. Oh, okay, sure.
Like paleontology.
Yeah, but paleontology. Yeah. Like they come home and they'd be like, what do you want to be called? I was trying to think. Do you want to be called Pop Pop? Do you want to be called Grandpa? Do you want to be called Papa?
I'll be called Pop Pop. Okay. That's my Pop Pop's name.
Wow, really? Pop-Pop's called Pop. Mm-hmm. They'll come home and they'll just be like, Pop-Pop, I learned today that you were a big part in helping, discover aliens. And you'll be like,
well, I'm glad you listen to me every time I tell you.
Yeah, I remember when they were just blobs and now we're discovering ones that are like rhinos. Rhino aliens. Space rhinos that you can ride across the galaxy, okay? What's your choice? We already talked about mine.
I don't know. It boils down to, would I rather have the knowledge of future history, or would I rather have new knowledge of extraterrestrial creatures that could answer questions? But this is like so open-ended that both scenarios can go in multiple extremes.
That's why I chose it.
That's why I kept saying, like, well, worst case scenario, the future is a dystopia. Worst case scenario, you meet the aliens, they just want to take over the world.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, you get to learn about aliens. Best case scenario about the future, you get to learn how to make, like, the next up-and-coming technology to, like, cure AIDS and every disease that we've come across and end world hunger and stop climate change and make an actual utopia that doesn't fall into a dystopia but has the facade of being a utopia, and then becomes Fallout.
So,
or Bioshock. I don't know. Both are cool in my eyes. I don't know what one I would value more. It's a tough one.
Because I value learning over cool. Because I feel like the reason I mainly chose it is just because, like, it's cool, it's new, and it enhances learning. Meanwhile, the time travelers will just... I feel like... I mean, I'm not saying this has to be how it is, but I just feel like in that scenario, they come back and they tell you all these cool things, and you're like, cool, I'll never get to experience them. Because I don't think it's going to be a situation where, like, they tell you how to make these things early on. Because, one, then it would make them obsolete. And two, you probably don't possess the knowledge, technology, or just, like, circumstances to create the things that they have.
Well, that's a circumstance all on its own.
Exactly. So I feel like...
Maybe we do have the technology to cure AIDS, we just don't know the direction to take our medicine that we have. And they give us the
Maybe.
direction that we need.
But maybe. There might not be, like, they may just come back with news that can't alter anything, and I just don't know if I'd want to. I'd rather take the risk of aliens killing me. Because I feel...
Also,
I'm going to go off the notion that beings are inherently good. So I'm going to hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very optimistic for you.
For me, yeah,
Yes.
especially.
That's why I'm playing Negative Nancy Devil's Advocate, is because you're taking the optimistic side. Which
I
is
like taking the optimistic side, especially in Would You Rathers.
not in most cases. Usually you take people are out to get you
Yeah.
type of... So when aliens come, you're like, I like to think they would give me a hug.
I'm not. I'm just saying...
That they're not out to get you.
I'm saying you can't go in with that mindset because you got to learn things.
But I'm saying that's what you're envisioning this outcome to most likely be, is that they're non-hostile.
Yeah, which is optimistic.
Which is the opposite of what...
But they're so
you
far
usually
away.
think
They probably can't
about
do anything
strangers.
anyway. I don't like the idea also of the time traveling one because, like, if it's the case where we can't do it, like, I'm just finding out news of a time when I won't be alive. It's almost like when you hear history from, like, 1,000 years ago and you're like, that's cool or sad, but, like, it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah, but from the past, that's in the past. But if you learn something from the future, that's something that...
But I can't look
now
forward to it.
I mean, mentally you still can. You can be like, wow,
But I'll be dead.
that'll be really cool. Well, what if they make something in the future where they just phrase you?
See, that would
and
be
they're
my
like,
problem.
There
Is
you go.
Maybe that's what my problem. I would just be pissed off that I can't enjoy it.
That
at least
the knowledge
aliens
you have is useless.
Yeah, at least and then at least with the aliens, I could be like, yeah, I was born in 2 centuries, and I also was born in the century that they discovered aliens.
Okay, so if you wanted something out of this experience, what if the people from the past are like, here's an actual hoverboard, Deanna?
You mean the future?
I mean the future.
Yeah.
Here's an actual hoverboard, Deanna. And then you're like, cool, just for me? And they're like, yep, this is the whole reason why we came here, just for you
Just
to get
for
a
that.
hoverboard.
My
Peace.
pure gain.
Yeah.
Eh.
Because if you mean you in the sense of the world or society or culture as a whole being affected in that moment, then I would still make the argument that they could just give us information that we could utilize in our world now to better what we do. They could be like, we found all these great easy steps to stopping climate change, which is definitely real, and here's how to do it. 6 easy steps life hack. And then you're like, wow.
I thought you would have had 3 by now.
Yeah, what the heck?
Who wants to do 6 steps?
That's almost 1 every 100 years.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more, but
I'm
you
still...
know what I mean.
I know. I'm still going with aliens, unfortunately.
Aliens would be cooler. I would still choose aliens, but I'm trying to make a strong argument.
Okay, so
for
we agree on
besides
aliens.
the cool factor.
We're
of
not going
aliens.
strong on this we disagree thing that I set up.
I know.
Okay, the past 5 years we've disagreed on many things.
Yes.
I won't bring up the classic flying teleportation debate. Teleportation.
No. Stop. Stop.
Well, that's good to know.
Wrong.
I'm glad we both want to meet aliens. Or at least...
Yeah, what if they're just Superman?
I don't even need to meet them. Just hearing, like,
Yeah.
news articles or even... I mean, like, I was going to say news article. I want to say that, but at the same time, I feel like the media would mess it up. But, like, still cool. Like, you know, when you hear every other year that Mars has water, and you're, like, still excited every time.
Yeah.
Even though they pretend that they totally haven't found it
I
before.
could drink it?
Yeah.
That's
Like,
new?
people are excited about water. Imagine how
I know.
cool everyone, like, hyped up. Everyone every day would be like, "Do you hear what Alien Z said?" And you'd be like, "No, but Alien A said this."
His name is Alien Z, actually. Okay.
Oh,
it's not Z, it's Z.
It'd be so cool. We'll
It
just
would be
interview
cool.
all of them. Journalists would have a new type of life, and then we could become space architects.
Space Tex.
Space architects,
I don't know. It doesn't roll off the
Like-
tongue.
space cadets,
Yeah.
but
Cadets.
space architects. Architects.
Architects. I like that.
I like that.
That's
Architects.
Good. That's good. That's better.
Nailed it. Coining that trademark.
That's a coin.
No one take that.
It's my coin.
Cool.
It's $50.
Well, speaking of architecture.
Speaking of $50.
Speaking of $50, haven't had one
I
since.
had a $50 when I first went to college. Oh man, since we're on that topic, we could talk about...
The last time I got a $50 was...
Just don't follow along.
New York City.
That's fine.
Sorry, I heard you. Architecture.
No, it's fine. I know you heard me. It's fine. It's fine.
Architecture. Woo!
We both major in it.
Yeah.
Done it for 4 years.
Going on 5.
Woo. Woo.
So, we started college 4 years ago. We just graduated undergrad.
Woo.
And we're starting graduate school because...
That's right.
Why not sink further into debt? And...
That's exactly what I thought.
I
wasn't even going for architecture. I was like, what could I spend money on?
Yeah.
I'm already
Fastest
spending that
way
much
is
money.
college.
Oh, definitely. Or gambling. Or both.
Yeah. So we go to school in Rhode Island. Beautiful state. Super small. Terrible drivers.
Okay.
But beautiful anyway. And we met actually the first day that we were there, right?
Yeah, because we lived in the same building across the hall.
Right. So...
Across a common area.
Yeah. So we lived on campus for all 4 years. And we currently now live off campus because we are required to. But we are roommates in
And they were roommates.
a shared apartment with 3 of us. Our other roommate is not currently here. Sorry, Val. But I know you're listening.
Shout outs to Val.
Stop with the shout out. Stop.
She'll be here soon. She'll be here eventually.
Yeah.
But it'll be the 3 of us hanging out. All doing architecture. For reference.
Yeah. Because, we can't... I think we have a total of 5 friends outside of the architecture major.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not true.
My dad. My
But
mom.
close friends.
My sister.
Yeah. No. So,
Thomas
yeah.
and Tires.
So we all lived... I didn't mean total. I meant on campus.
Oh, I meant total.
So freshman year,
Freshman year.
got to campus, and they make you do a bunch of... The freshmen get to campus early to kind of acclimate
Appellation.
to the new surroundings, new people, and they make you do a bunch of icebreaker stuff that you just want to die.
They gave us pickaxes and ice blocks, and they were like, have at it. Break that ice with your fellow freshmen.
I mean, that's how winters feel like here.
Yeah.
If they supplied us with pickaxes from our tuition costs, I'd be okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad, honestly.
So...
But after that...
Anyway.
After the icebreakers.
So, the first icebreakers hadn't even happened yet.
Oh,
so
okay.
technically the first day that we were there, it was the first or second day, my roommate at the time was like, I met all these cool people from orientation, we should meet up with them. And I was like, I am down for making friends at all. I do not care. Sure. Because...
Sure.
I only know a few people from my orientation group, but honestly, orientation was a tragic experience. Hated it. I was very annoyed the entire time. And
it was alright.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best.
Actually, a few of my friends that I have currently came out of my orientation group. Didn't really care.
Sorry.
Didn't really care about them at the time. Sorry, Skylar and Trevor.
Oh my god.
Named.
Shout outs.
Well, I mean, I just didn't know them. I think I talked to Skylar, we bonded over the fact that one of the girls in our group got left behind in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then we laughed, and then I don't think we talked the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And then, so it was great.
You know orientation is bad when I have to be the first one in the group to instigate conversation to everyone.
Ooh.
That was real bad.
Orientation's bad when I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
So that's how that was.
No one wanted to talk. It was very uncomfortable during lunch.
Yeah, and it's funny because all of those people that were in my orientation group were in the architecture major in the end, and I knew them very well by the end of school.
That's how they broke us up.
Yeah.
But after orientation, during orientation, I met Deanna's roommate for freshman year, and we kept in sort of close touch, and then found out that we were living across a common area in the same building from each other.
Right. And we went to convocation, which is this weird march into the tents where you graduate in 4 years. And they welcome you to the campus and you're let in by bagpipes. And
Gotta love those bagpipes.
I was terrified at the time. All I remembered was sitting with my roommate and freaking out because my parents were leaving that day. You know, classic scared. I live 6 hours from school, so I was very nervous that I would not have anyone, even though
Thank God.
Yeah, even though I make friends pretty quickly, and I had already gotten pretty close within 24 hours to my roommate. Like, we both really enjoyed each other's company, so...
Mm-hmm.
Then we were sitting at convocation, and my roommate was like, "Look, these are the people I was talking about. They're all behind us." Yeah, did you even remember this?
I do.
Ah, yeah. And
because we were all huddled outside in the common area meeting our RA.
Well, no, I was talking about the convocation still. You guys were sitting behind us in the seats.
Convocation, we were
all... And she was like, "Look, these are these people. Here they all are."
Niggas awkwardly wave.
And they like waved, and I was like, cool. I was like trying not to freak out that like I was going to be alone. And then like later, our RA brought us all together in the common area and was like, icebreaker time. And then like my roommate was like, that's Tim. Like he must live across the hall from us, and like called him over. And Tim was like, "Hi, I'm Tim."
Wow, you make me sound really... Hi.
You were thrilling.
I am Tim.
You were like, "Hey.
Hey there.
How's it going?" And then we had a nice icebreaker where we had to do 2 truths and a lie. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember what I said. Said something about having a sister, hating the Pittsburgh Penguins. Or no, my lie was that I loved the Pittsburgh Penguins, which left a bad taste in my mouth. And I forget what my other one was. Pretty boring. Some people's were really interesting.
Just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah. But so then that was the first time we met, and I was like, he seems chill. And then there was a different icebreaker event that they made us do where it was, what was it called? The running thing.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. What was it called? It had a specific name.
I don't know.
But it's this thing where everyone has to go. All of the freshmen have to go. And
that's everyone.
It's like a wild meetup event. And so me and my roommate tried to hide in our room and be like, we are not going to this. And guess what? Our RA knocked on our door, came barging in and was like, "You ready to go?" And we were like, "No." And then she was like, "You
ready to go?"
Bad. And we were like, "Okay." So we went, and I'm like freaking out because I was just like, God, I can't remember what it's called. It's going to bother me. But,
you run through a tunnel of people.
Yeah. So we were walking on the way to it with and like talking to our RA, and then like it was me, Tim, and my roommate, and I just remember walking, and I was like, I felt more relieved walking with Tim because he was making jokes, and I was very uncomfortable going to this event. Yeah, totally. And we got there, and we all, of course, the 3 of us swore we were like going to stick together. Not possible, because at this event you formed 2 lines, so it became like 2 lines of people would face each other, and then the other people would, once the line like filled all the way out of people, you held hands and started running.
Well, first we high-fived the people were filling the line as it went through the gymnasium.
So you started at the door opposite each other, and you high-fived everyone as they entered and continued to fill in the lines as they went. So it became like a path.
This is a lot of detail.
I know, but I just like remember it so intently because it was terrifying. And then you high-five everyone, and then you hold hands, and you start running, and it whips you all around, and it was crazy. And then you do like some other dumb icebreaker activities where like they're like, find someone who has the same birthday month as you, go, and then like you gotta, and then like take a selfie with someone, blah blah, whatever.
Took a selfie with my future friend Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. Didn't realize it was Kevin till like after we became
2
friends.
Years.
Like a year later.
Yeah.
We like became friends sophomore year from Musicians Guild, our club at school. And then he was like, "Oh my God, I just realized that was you." And I was like,
"Oh yeah, didn't he send you the picture of this?"
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so weird.
Yeah. And then, so then after that, we just like started hanging out with Tim, I think. Just because.
I think.
Why not? And we had like dinners and stuff together. And I was like.
I'm pretty sure I was in the room. Didn't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
just
hung out.
remember, like, in my head, consciously being like, making the decision of like, nah, I'm gonna be best friends with this kid. Like,
Oh, stop.
I was just like, nah, it's gotta happen.
Yeah. Well,
He's like, too good to pass up. And
claimed.
that was literally within the first 24 hours, I believe. Like, not me thinking that, like, us, like, all that stuff happening. Yeah. And then, yeah, so then we have progressed from there 5 years later. Lots of dumb memories and doing stupid things. So we study architecture, and I think
if
that's...
you didn't know that already.
Well, yeah, we say it. I've said it many times. But, like, because we study architecture, if anyone knows anything about it, it's a very intense program, so that also aids in the fact that, like, the types of relationships and friendships you make with people are, like, way quicker and just, like, more intense because you spend so much time together, because you have, like...
you're in that same office space, essentially.
Yeah.
You're all in cubicles, and you're all forced to be with each other.
That sounds
as opposed
terrible,
to, like,
the way you described it, but it's not like
as
that.
Opposed, it's a pig pen.
Yeah, it's a
other
giant
majors.
open area of, like, you each get a desk, cubicle area, and you sit with a buddy, and you're in a class of only 13. But, like, there's, like, 5 classes of 13, and then you, like, pair up with different groups throughout the semester to do certain reviews and critiques, which we'll call crits all the time. And
it's easy.
You have, like, a more personal experience with your professor. You're always on a first name basis. You do certain things. Some professors will celebrate with you at the end of the semester.
If
but, like,
cool.
Yeah. But that, like, atmosphere definitely encourages. That's why a lot of the people that, a lot of students in the architecture building often are only friends with people in the architecture building, because you spend so much time there, and you just relate more on a work level. So...
And you can hang out and just do work together all the time.
A lot of like, most of me and Tim's friendship has probably been spent doing work together.
Man, that just sounds sad.
I know. But, like, if you think about it, we have, like,
readings,
60-plus hour weeks doing homework.
Art history.
Yeah, we would do
studying.
Readings and studying.
Theory of architecture, academic reading.
Everyone loves my study tactics for memorizing art history works.
Stuff.
Any paintings or anything like
it's
that.
It's just mnemonic devices that are funny, so you remember them.
Exactly. So...
Like Garnier.
Yeah, Fructis. So yeah, freshman year, I don't know. We bought a Frisbee together that was light up and glow in the dark, and we made a tradition that every year on Halloween we would play with this light up Frisbee. Not as easy to see in the dark as you'd think it'd be, but it was cool.
It's
anyway,
also very dead now.
Yeah, I mean, the Frisbee's still alive, but the light is not.
Yeah.
Also, I got 2 of them accidentally, because shout out to our mail center that can't get anything right literally ever. Lost my passport. Good times.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we've actually only had, 2 studio professors together?
Yes.
We've had a lot of classes together the same, and a lot of the same schedule, just because the architecture major is just so... at our school specifically, is so straightforward that you kind of everyone takes a similar path. There's only certain classes that you really take in different semesters, and that's only if you kind of vary your path or if you have a weird minor or something like that interferes. But we pretty much take a lot of the similar stuff, and that's why everyone gets so close. There's about like 56 or so kids in our program. There's going to be a little bit less now because some people aren't coming for grad. Some are leaving to go to other places and stuff like that. So it's probably down to like 50 or 45 or something like that. But most of us are staying. So we're pretty tight-knit, and it only aided in the fact that, like, you're staying up all night just to get drawings done. So Tim and I already were friends, and then we would sit at each other's desks and do work freshman year. And we like a lot of the same music. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And... so there's always an album each year that reminds us of a specific year. Specifically, I think we've talked about this, that freshman year was State Champs. The Finer Things and the Acoustic Things. Sophomore year was Neck Deep, I think.
Mm-hmm. Life's Not Out to Get You.
Life's Not Out to Get You. And then junior year was a mix. It was, I'd say, Moose Blood.
And Grayscale.
I was just going to say that. Grayscale was like the spring. Moose Blood.
was
Moose
when
Blood's
we were
Blush
abroad.
was while we were abroad, which
Yeah.
that's a complete different episode because you can't talk about that because there's just too much.
We can't talk about that.
Yeah,
There's too much.
Or people just be mad that we're sounding pretentious. But
We were abroad.
so yeah, and then senior year was, I don't know actually. There was a new Neck Deep, new Moose Blood.
There was
Definitely listened to the new Moose Blood a lot. That was in March.
Oh, man.
Um,
That was hard because we were on opposite sides of the other studio area.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have a specific.
well, we were
playlist
typically
in
like binging certain albums each year,
Yeah.
and that was just like something we always bonded over. I was also thinking Seaway was also sophomore year,
Oh my God,
spring.
Seaway for you was like
Seaway was intense.
cocaine.
Yeah, remember when I would listen to Colorblind like every day?
Yeah.
Literally every day. I remember one of our peers used to come over to my desk.
Shout out to Matt.
Yeah, I love how you knew what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our friends, Matt, he would always like walk by me. He's like, I swear you were always listening to this album like every day. And I was like, you always come over when I put it on. Because I would mix it up throughout the day. And then like there was always a certain time in the night when I was working that I wanted to listen to this album.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like constant repeat. And I was listening to it on, I think, either YouTube or Spotify. And I wish I had listened to it on iTunes or something so it could have counted the amount of times I played it because it was intense.
We also forgot the other State Champs album that came out sophomore
Oh,
year.
right.
Around the World and Back.
Yeah.
And then also Shapeshifter from Knuckle Puck.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
That was a pretty big one.
I would say so.
I'm just trying to think of all like the albums we would play in car rides.
Yeah.
'Cause towards senior year, it was like
a mix. We started
Yeah.
mixing it up with a lot more different, like, I think each year we were here, we always had like a set one that we just but like this past year, a lot of music was released that we liked, and
yeah.
I don't know. But we have a theme. Like, our lives have been a theme. I could pinpoint certain songs to certain memories. There was like, I remember I actually don't even remember the song it was. I can't remember if it was, I think it was Prepare to Be Noticed, actually,
Okay.
by State Champs. Freshman year, Tim was sitting at my desk working, which never happened again after freshman year because
You
there
can't
was
get
not
work done like that.
You can't get work done, and also, well, you can, but like specifically for us, like you didn't have enough space on your desk,
Yeah.
and then like once, specifically studio work can't be done. Like if you're studying or whatever, but like studio work just is like, it's fine if someone's working alongside you, but like at the same desk, it's just too distracting and stuff like that. But we used to do that, and there was a time when we were sitting at the same desk, but both listening to headphones, just one ear out.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed I ripped out my one earbud, and like all I remember was looking at him, and he was just like, what? And I was like, we started playing the same song at the exact same time, unknowingly. And I could hear the song being simultaneously played out of his headbone. Yep, headbone. I also like
the headbone
playing them out of headphones.
area.
Out of his headphone and in mine. It was a very nice,
Very
serene moment. It was very like perfect lineup. Just felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what song that was either.
So we've done a lot of stuff together. So freshman year, we all went to New York City because they occasionally take us on site trips for studio. We've been in New York City way too many times, considering we are in close proximity to Boston and have only gone once in 4 years, but we have gone to New York City. I have gone 3 times, or 4.
Yeah, I've gone 3 times.
I've gone 2. I went once for drawing.
Okay,
I've gone 4 times. I went once for drawing, once for Islamic art and architecture, once for Italian Renaissance art and architecture, and then once for studio. So, too many times, considering the city's okay. But
once you see the same museums or museums in general and you only go to that place for museums,
well, it's just hard for me because
that's a lot.
Not that I live near it, but like it's in close proximity to where I live, so I just like I want to see new things. But it makes sense. So we've done that. we have traveled to Italy, Ireland, Germany, France, Spain together.
Yes, we did.
What did we do sophomore year? Did we do anything? Oh, we've
Sophomore
gone to
year.
multiple concerts together now. Like 3. We did state champs sophomore year. And we did, state champs and Neck Deep. And then we've done Warped Tour together. And we've done the other Neck Deep concert this past year.
Oh, okay. I was like, sophomore year, we did
Neck
3
Deep and
concerts.
Seaway. And yeah. Oh, not sophomore year. Sorry, I was counting in total.
In general, yeah.
Yeah. We've suffered through certain professors together. Won't name names, but, you know.
No shout-outs for those.
No shout-outs for the interesting professors we have had.
Only positive shout-outs.
Only positive shout-outs. And Proctor, love you.
Proctor! Dr. P.
Yeah. I don't know. What other highlights do...
Oh, man.
Trying to think of things that people don't know. I
We've
think
covered a
every
lot.
person on campus knows us because, as our title explains the long and the short of it, I am quite short and Tim is quite tall and thin. So we are...
You could have just said lanky.
Sorry.
Don't.
I thought that was too insulting.
No. Saying long and thin is too insulting.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, you lanky boy. So...
Thank you.
We are quite the opposites.
So we stand out when we're next to each other.
So we stand out quite... And we are creatures of habit a lot. Not so much, but enough when it comes to food. So for the past 4 years that we have gone to school, we have eaten dinner every day at 5 p.m. after... Or actually, this past year was... Our last semester was a change up because 2 days a week we didn't get out of class until 6:30.
Right.
So we had to eat after them,
dreadful.
and it was tragic. We would always go early to get food at our lower commons, which is
And
like
for
a
the
cafe.
for the people that think that 5 p.m. is like grandparents' time to eat dinner, just keep in mind
Don't at
that
me.
we're in studio from 2 to 5,
3 days a
doing
week.
the same thing 3 days a week, and maybe you can get a little snack if you bring one, but that like mental
You're just worn out.
anguish for 3 hours like really wears you out, and you're just starving, and you just want to
Also,
be
it
somewhere
was-
with your friends.
It was worse for Tim because he would eat. We were on kind of... Dinner was our only meal that we really shared together because
Yeah, I
Tim
don't eat lunch.
Tim likes breakfast. Oh god, we
He's
could
a
spend a
big
whole episode talking
breakfast.
about that. Tim loves breakfast and I love lunch, and we don't agree on either. I hate breakfast and he does not care for lunch because lunch is basically just his mini dinner. So it's
Lunch
pointless.
just holds me over till dinner.
Yeah, so
That's
he-
how I view it.
He doesn't enjoy it. I don't
Yeah.
like breakfast because I've never enjoyed breakfast. It has always made me sick. I have to.
Yeah, you have a physical
I have to.
reaction.
Yeah, I have to plan how long. Like, I can't eat for more than, unless I'm awake for an hour. I can't eat prior to being awake for an hour. And I also just don't really care for breakfast food. I really only like bagels and cereal and bacon, I guess.
Because
But everything
shout out
else.
to bacon.
But even then, like, I got to be in the mood for all 3 of those things. So it's really. But I love dinner. I love food in general. So, but
And
we.
dessert.
But everyone would see us walking on campus to either our dorm, to studio, or to dinner. And I swear the women that work
The women.
at our dining hall know us. I feel like they know us better if we are together.
Yeah. I
So,
would agree.
also, even though I fall into that great stereotype of being short but loud, and Tim's tall and quiet,
Mhm.
so it's even better. So people
Yeah.
can really relate.
It also didn't help with the fact that we lived in the same dorms for every year except one.
It wasn't even one, it was just one
It
semester.
was a semester
Because
yeah.
of abroad. And yeah, so even then you were always over.
Well, yeah.
So someone asked, oh yeah, there was that one time. So the semester following abroad, we were split. You get randomly placed. You can choose the roommate that you live with after you go abroad, but it gets randomly split into any room that can fill in, because you kind of fill in where the people who left for abroad, like, left over. So I was placed with our current roommate now, Val.
Shout outs to Val again.
into one dorm, and then Tim was placed with our other friend John in a different
Shout out
building.
to my boy.
They're right next to each other on the same side of campus,
Oh.
but they were separate. But there was one day that Tim came over and was like, I just had a weird experience. And it was because he was walking back from my room after we were doing homework together or something into his building, and he was following a girl, or a girl was following you? I think a girl was following you, and you... Oh, no. She was trying to get into she was trying to get into his building.
I was behind her.
And he was behind her.
flustered.
Yeah. And she she was waiting for her friend to come down and let her in, because it was after hours and the doors lock at a certain point. So Tim swiped in with his ID, and she looked befuddled and was so confused how he got in or whatever, blah, blah. So they're walking up the stairs. Tim has no idea why she looked like that.
Like, oh, thank you. And
then
had like a perplexed look on her face. And then we walk up the stairs.
And then she was like, I'm sorry. I thought you lived in Bayside. And the reason she thinks that is because I lived in Bayside, and Tim was always over after dinner at night. So she thought he lived in my apartment because she has a friend that lived down the row of apartments from me.
Yeah, she lived in that area.
She lived in the same area, so she saw him constantly, and Tim has a very particular
I have a look.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was like, he's very noticeable on campus, so...
Yeah, I'm that person that's got the ugly.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No, I just have bad breath from the Sundays that I eat.
Yeah. He also smells like Brussels sprouts. So, if that tells you anything about how inseparable...
I don't. I smell good.
Pretty much inseparable to a point where people can't distinguish us from without each other.
Yeah.
Super healthy.
To the point where people think we're either related or married.
Yeah.
Which is
we still get it pretty much every day.
Yeah.
We'll never get past it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Whatever.
I mean, I was like, doesn't affect me.
Oh, well.
Yeah, because same thing in Italy, like, at the end, I think we were sitting there before we were about to leave, and I was like, literally spent every single day in Italy with Tim. Because we also lucked out, and there were 3 options in Italy. I won't detail this too much, but there were 3 buildings we could have lived in, and 2 of them were right next to each other, and then the other one was about a 30-minute walk. Well, actually, there were 4 buildings. 2 of them were right next to each other, and then the other 2 were about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on which location. And we got placed in the 2 buildings right next to each other. So I got to walk down the stairs into their apartment whenever I wanted. So it lucked out. So I think we've been consistently lucky in our friendship in terms of just like not getting separated very much.
Yeah.
And even when we do, like, it's nice when we get a mix up of classes so that I get to hear about your music classes and I get to talk about my art history classes.
That's right.
You don't take.
We didn't talk about our minors.
Oh, my minor is
music.
Art. Yeah, he minored music. And I did.
Yeah, just reiterate what. So
I talked over you. So
I minored in music.
There we go. And I minored in art and architectural history. And I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a decision after dumping math. Sorry, math.
Shoutouts to math.
Yeah, I love it.
Me too.
Not for me to study forever, but
no.
Art and architectural history, very fun to make fun of too when there's stupid paintings and everything like that. And then I got to relive Italy once I took Italian Renaissance after I studied abroad, which was kind of, I wish I studied it beforehand, but...
Yeah, and then I got music, so then I didn't have to deal with the majority of other architecture kids that we didn't...
Yeah, so it was more refreshing.
With. Oh, yeah.
Met new people. I still met new people also through art history because a
lot
of... There were art history majors.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still in the same school, but then, like, I met one of my friends, my theater major friends, Henry. Yeah, Henry.
Shoutouts to Henry.
We're doing too many shoutouts.
Ooh.
I think we're. But now, if I mention all these people early on, when I mention them again, people won't have to ask me who they are. But
let's go back to episode 2. That's where we do all the shoutouts.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I met a lot of the majority of people I've met that aren't in architecture were met through my minor, I would believe, or even general education classes.
Yeah.
some requirements. But those people I didn't really stay in touch with. But we bonded over being miserable and the fact that we were required to take a certain class.
See, I got close with my music friends because then they were also the people that ran Musicians Guild.
Yeah.
So then it would be like a double dose, like, oh, did you do the music homework? And we'd be like, yeah. And then see you in class. And then in class be like, oh, you going to Musicians Guild? And I'd be like, yeah. Which
is basically just a group where they met up and played music together.
Yeah.
Nothing super formal, yeah.
Well, we had open mic nights where they would bring in microphones and electronic.
But it wasn't like, let's recite this.
No.
Like.
No, it was not anything for the general public.
Not like a band.
It was not orchestrated by everyone. You could bring in your band. You could bring in your group if you wanted to.
I meant like marching band and like
no.
An orchestra.
I mean, they never said he couldn't. Just
true.
No one did it.
Very free-flowing.
But like Kevin and I, again, shout-outs to Kevin, played a few songs together that we practiced in our own time and then performed there. And then some of my friends from music, we used the jam room, which is in the basement of our senior year dorm room.
It's where they make jam.
Set and everything. Yeah, we just stomp around.
Actually, all of the instruments have jelly stored in them for safekeeping.
Well, that's different than jam.
It's a form of something sticky.
It's consistency.
Well.
But yeah, we use that jam to record a music project that I had to do junior year. That took a lot of time to get together because it was me, Kevin, who wasn't in my music class, but shout outs to Kevin for being a bro and playing guitar when he didn't even have to, but we needed to.
In Crocs,
rocking out.
The aesthetic was amazing.
Playing Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, yeah.
And Sum 41.
Yeah. But that's... Yeah. Our daily life, though, for pretty much 2.5, 3 years, was wake up, go to class.
It wasn't Sum 41, by the way. I was waiting for you to tell me that it wasn't because we played American Idiot back in the day.
I didn't even remember. No. You could have said anything and I wouldn't have. Yeah.
It's Sum 182.
Ugh. No.
Okay.
But for studio, we pretty much were there every single day. Studio technically was 2 to 5. And now it's 2 to 6:30, but only 2 days a week instead of 3. And you pretty much eat, breathe, bleed, sweat,
sneeze,
studio. Pretty much, it's all vomit. Architecture majors are. You get told that your stuff needs to be better, that you don't have enough, or they like your idea, but why not change it this many different ways? And reviews tomorrow, but who cares? Do it anyway. And you just sit there and you do everything, and you sit at your draftsman desk and you hope insane. Yeah, you hope you get there and you have problems scaling a drawing for 3 days straight, and your professors won't help you.
Ugh, God, why'd you have to bring that up?
Because I just think about how we worked on that together and wanted to die. But in general, we love it. It's
a
fun.
Little masochisty.
Yeah, it's fun to bond over how like miserable it can be.
Yeah, you got everybody there with you, so it's not like you're suffering alone in your room writing a 20-page paper.
That's the best part. Is I think
it's way more active.
Yeah, like the collaboration, just like the bond, because
James Bond.
Everyone sticks together. If you're like, you ask a professor, what do you do? They say they want a certain thing, and then you ask everyone, and you're like, are you doing that thing? And if one person says no, the whole class is not doing it. And it's the best, like, unified resistance that you could ever experience.
He said he wanted an 1/8-inch model, but we're already doing a 3/32. Are you going to make that 1/8 inch? And everyone's like, no. And you're like, thank God we're uprising.
Standard studio daily conversation. Someone's standing up going, hey, what do you have for tomorrow? And the other person going, nothing. And then you going, great, neither do I. And then you compare and find out that neither of you actually had nothing. And you have just
very minimal work.
You just had a very minimal.
Enough that you could talk to them maybe for 15 minutes. And they could maybe push you along.
But it would be enough. And then you'd be like, cool, I made it one more day. But then there'd be the nights where you stay up until 5 in the morning and then still got an 8 a.m. and you're like, I can't miss it, so you gotta go. Pretty much every freshman architecture class gets yelled at by our dean to go to class because studio in the architecture major is held to such a high importance that you feel like you will give up every other class to finish because it just feels so vital, and you're also just, you want that, you're proud of that, and you put so much time and effort in that you would rather put all of your time into it. So
you don't want to miss a studio deadline.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for.
Right. And the professors don't do a great job of not putting emphasis on it either. I mean, every professor thinks their stuff is the most important, but... So, there are many times when professors would have to be like, go to your class. Like, you can't keep skipping. I did not do this, but...
Me either.
There was always once a semester I would skip like one class to sleep. It wasn't to do more work. It was that I had done work so late that I needed to sleep. But it was always a general education class. I would never skip my actual classes normally. And even then, you get 2 or 3 skips, so I was fine. And
you can also check with your professors, and if they're like, yeah, no, that's totally fine if you miss out, because they're very understanding for architecture majors.
Yeah, most
have quite
of them.
the rep on campus.
They try to help you out, especially even in Italy. Our Italian professor, he was like, David. He was...
Again with the second shout out in a row.
Sorry.
David.
I love you, David. But he specifically told us in the beginning that he hates architecture majors, but then spoiled us to death by telling us that if we ever had a big deadline, that he was perfectly fine with us missing class and that we would not be penalized. But it was fine because we were also probably the best students in his class.
Yeah.
3/4 of us. 4/4? 4/5?
I don't know. Something like that? I don't know.
I think most of us did pretty well.
We were pretty good.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a tough major, but we like it. And actually now, since this was supposed to be specifically about me and Tim, so we have always done certain things, taking classes together. Now we share an apartment, and we also currently work together, too.
Yeah.
Our last day for the summer, actually, is this Friday, but we loved it there. Sad. And if you think we're crazy that we don't get sick of each other, well...
We are.
Yeah. Can't...
But it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We find new ways to spice things up. We talk about a lot of...
Spices.
Hypotheticals and
spices.
Would you rathers, and we complain a lot. I do a lot of the complaining, but like...
I sometimes chime in. My foot itches every now and then.
Right.
I have to tell someone.
Yeah.
We also have some of our own separate things that we do. Like, I play my video games that are singular player. So there's not a whole lot you could do besides watch or play, but then you never want to play.
I'll play.
You don't want to play single player games. You want to play
I want to do co-op.
Yeah.
I like fun. I like doing things with people. See, that's the thing. One of the big opposites about me and Tim is that we've taken personality tests multiple times, and he always comes out introverted and I always come out extroverted. So a lot of the time, even though both of us like to hang out with friends, Tim also needs... I mean, everyone needs alone time, but he also...
I need it a lot.
He thrives off of being alone and playing games. And I do not.
You make me sound like such a lame-o.
That's not a lame-o.
I also just do things on my own. Yeah. Not playing video games. I also draw. I also play the drums.
Yeah. But you like those...
do things that are activities by myself.
Yeah. He likes solitary activities. I do not. Most of the time. I mean, I enjoy reading and...
watching other podcasts.
Yeah, watching other, or listening to other podcasts, watching more YouTube. Drawing, painting. Well, I'm just starting up painting again. I haven't done it for a while, but I do, most of my things weren't around doing things with other people, is what I like to do the most. Which pretty much everyone does, mostly.
Depends on my mood.
Yeah.
If I have a hankering for playing some tasty RPGs, I'm gonna probably pass hanging out to get further in Octopath Traveler, because spicy game right there.
Yeah. I think the number one thing that me and Tim survive on is our humor is quite similar. And we find many of the same things funny, even though a lot of our personality can be different. Meaning, even
breaks those boundaries.
Yeah, even things as simple as like, I like to drive and he hates to drive. I like a lot of crazy foods and he does not. And I'm trying to think of other things that we don't agree on, but camping.
Oh, God.
Throwback to camping.
Yeah, that's true. Back to camping.
But we also like to do a lot of stupid activities together. Like, we have gone to trampoline parks multiple times together. We have gone go-karting now multiple times together. We have played mini golf many times.
Who do you think likes go-karting more, and who do you think likes trampolining crazily more? Leave that in the comments.
Not very hard to figure out after the comments I just made.
Yeah.
Either way, always fun.
Oh, yeah. Still tons of fun.
Yeah. We do a lot of different types of games, too. We try to mix it up. But the one thing that people can't get over is that we have been friends for so long. And
not clawed each other's throats out.
Yeah. We've never really had a true argument or... Like, we like, have disagreements on things, and we like to argue because we are argumentative people. But we've never had, like, an actual spat. I guess we're just queuing up for one. But not yet.
Don't think I really have it in me.
No, Tim's a very, not passive, but just like...
I'm a pretty chill dude.
Yeah, pretty chill. I try to be. I try. I make the effort.
I'm an aspiring chill person.
I am chill in certain respects. And then other things, I am not.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. I like justice and...
Justice.
I like when things are fair. So when I feel wronged, I express it.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah. So...
That's the only time I speak up.
Yeah. And, like, classic, the one argument I remember us having that I've always talked about, and my roommate at the time witnessed it and was terrified, was we could not agree on a Harry Potter argument. And, yeah, it's Tim's favorite story because he hates it. And, I don't even remember that. It was basically, like, arguing it was arguing whether it was beneficial that when Hermione had the time turner in the third book of Harry Potter, why did she waste time taking certain classes, like ancient runes specifically?
I never said take the time wasting classes.
It was something
like,
to do
if
with
she
like
had that power, why didn't she use
it for some other class, right?
No, to like out of all of the conflicts, like that's the whole premise of the movie is they like stop all the conflicts that happen and everything, but like still make sure things pan out.
Right.
Just me being extreme, being like, if Hermione has the power to turn back time, couldn't she go back in time to when Peter Pettigrew was gonna escape and just like capture him when he's still a rat?
Yeah.
And then like, then also just do all these other things instead of...
Right. So I took it as... So it was basically like...
Because it still takes up time to do those things.
Right. It was basically like at the time he was expressing it as... Or he expressed it this way, but it was... To distill it, it was like ancient runes seemed like a waste of time kind of thing. That's what I took out of it at the time. And we were arguing...
I was being pretty eloquent that I was saying instead of going to class, if she just went back in time after all that stuff hit the fan.
But I was like, I think her taking class made sense or whatever, blah, blah. And we couldn't agree. And then, but we were actually saying the same thing in the end, like once we talked it out. But then like, there was just a point where we were...
consensus. Yeah. Like we were agreeing, but then it felt like nothing got resolved. Right. So we were just upset.
We were just like, fine. And just didn't talk for like 5 minutes. And my roommate at the time was like, guys. And then I just was like, I don't understand why you think. And we just started yelling. And then we were like, we're saying the same thing. Why are we still having this argument? And then it was done. That was the only time I can really remember it. And the reason I also mainly bring it up is so that we can end with our specific hypothetical.
I will say that probably the reason why you thought that was because I was saying I probably made the argument that she didn't even
use them to her
use
advantage.
her
Yes, you did say that.
classes to further her solutions towards using the
Yeah,
time
I think
code
it was
stuff.
something
just
like you said.
all that
Like,
time
yeah,
wasted
she
could have been
right. She was taking these classes, but she could have been using that time anyway to be doing these other important things, and those classes would have been valid if she had used them more. And I was making the case she probably did, and it wasn't as apparent to us, but we're not. I don't think either of us were speaking as eloquently as we are now, so. We were just getting heated. Yeah.
It was just it's stupid.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. But
that's in the past.
Yeah. We don't really have many of those arguments anymore.
Mm-mm.
Pretty much we just end in a stalemate at most things.
We come to understand each other's points and agree to disagree and be like, that's what you prioritize and this is what I prioritize.
Yeah.
And what you prioritize is just wrong. And
that's
okay.
Perfectly well, fine. Your priorities are boring.
Well, they're fine.
It's always I try to be logical, but then 90% of the time when I choose things, it's all about how I feel about it. And Tim is always...
It's always a logical train of thought that leads back to I
yeah.
feel like that's just the thing.
I pretty much... choose something based on what I want or what I like, and then I create logic and rationale behind it, which is not bad. It's never bad logic. It's just you should have started with that rather than saying, but I'm okay with that because I got to be in the heat of the moment.
That's why you always got to boil it down, and then you're just I can't say anything logical anymore. That's how I want it to be.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I love
I'm
it, though.
Okay, that's fine then.
But, yeah. If you'll see over over the many episodes, the difference. You'll get more experience with our stories of our friendship anyway, so this is not the last one, and I'm sure everyone is so dying to hear about them.
Yep.
We'll probably have a whole episode just on Italy.
Yes.
And the people who care about it specifically the most will be the people who went with us, and they will be sad, reminiscing. Yeah.
Oh my god, they said Palazzo Vecchio, Montboboli Gardens.
They said va bene.
They said oh my god.
But
back on track to the ending with a nice
hypothetical.
We're
bookending each.
Speaking of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
This hypothetical is Harry Potter themed.
Starting with a would you rather, ending with a hypothetical. Because everyone likes to hear the discussions that we have. That's kind of a drive for this podcast, is that a lot of our friends enjoy hearing us speak about certain things. We have gone off on great tangents. We have started one time at what would you be named if you weren't named what you are now, all the way down to the Kool-Aid Man.
Yes.
You remember that?
That was a good time.
Yeah. That was all within the span of 20 minutes, and it just devolved so fast. And I tried explaining to someone how we got there, and they could not understand. It was just, I don't know. Sometimes we had a whole discussion today about toeless socks.
Yes.
So imagine toe socks, and then they're cut off like fingerless gloves. So they still have the ends for the knuckles of your feet, which we laughed at for very long. Yeah. Toe knuckles.
Yeah, just say toe knuckles. Just
say it to yourself and imagine
toe knuckles.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. We talked about that for quite some time today. That's
a mixture of the thumbs from Spy Kids. You remember those?
No.
It was just the thumb.
I haven't seen Spy Kids in probably 10 years.
Look it up. It's just the person that's just a thumb, and he's got thumb for a head and thumb for arms, but instead of a thumb, it's a toe, and Knuckles from Sonic.
Okay. Ew.
That's what I think
okay.
of knuckle toes.
Ew. Get on with it. Get on with this hypothetical.
Well, you're the one that has it, not me. I just have the list of spells.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, we kind of prepared ahead of time to think about it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it was, which Harry Potter spell would you most like to have? Or to be able to use?
Yes. Now, my pick comes with the caveat that I'm not like a true wizard. I'm just picking like a one spell that Muggle me could be able to use for some reason.
Okay.
So, wizards can apparate.
Ah, okay.
So I chose the Portus spell that creates any object into a portkey. So I can travel anywhere.
You chose portkey. Well, you could just choose apparate.
But that's not like... I'm thinking of like a real spell. That to me was more like a power.
I mean, technically... But they technically had to say a spell. It was just a silent spell.
It was one of those things where they were like powerful wizards that they don't have to say the spell.
This was one of the two that I picked was apparate, and the other, both of them technically are silent spells that I chose because I think they're the coolest parts of.
What's the second one?
The second is the one that turns you into an animagus. That's not how you... No? So I always thought the class I would most want to take from Harry Potter would be Transfiguration.
Wait, Deanna, are you a furry?
All right, end podcast. That was the long and short of it.
Yeah, that's it.
That was the last episode ever.
I killed it.
He ruined it. No! I just think it'd be cool to be able to transform, and you don't get to pick which form you transform. Well, also, it has to do with the fact that I am currently, and was, but still am, a big fan of the Marauders. They were my favorite part of the Harry Potter novels. And specifically, awesome. James Potter and Sirius Black were my two favorite characters. Remus Lupin as well, but mostly Sirius and James. And so I was always obsessed with their stories and the fact that they became animagi? Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. Well,
I always thought it was animagus when I read the books, and then in the movies they're like, he's an animagus.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, but I'll say animagus because Magnus is close to that, but whatever. So I didn't know if those counted because, like we've talked about, both the animagus spell and the apparate are... They require a spell, but they're...
incantation said.
Right, which is all magic. All of the spells...
Once you get to that skill,
once you get to a certain level.
Yeah.
But they were also... Some people have envisioned those as both as like abilities, almost, instead of spell casting, even though you needed it.
Based on the movies, they always like portray them as like more of a power that comes with it, because you never hear somebody say apparate.
They have to be trained to... Well, I mean, you have to be trained on them. I don't know. But I would still... If I had to choose... I would definitely choose apparate first, just because my big thing is that I want to travel quit often and eliminate
the most powerful spell to
especially
just use
in everyday life.
Yeah,
Muggle life. So I would just... It would cut out a lot of time. I would be able to spend my life, like, even just like on a basic level, commute to work. I would eliminate so much time. I could wake up, get ready, and then just apparate to work. Like, I would be healthier from sleeping more. But then just on a more cool level of like, oh, okay, I want...
Time to go to Italy.
Yeah, I want true Italian food. All right, I guess I'm going for dinner tonight, and then I'll just zap right back. And then, like, any of my friends across the world would be able to see Neon in 2 seconds, or Tetsuo.
Shout out to Neon and Tetsuo,
my
boys.
And Charles.
My boy.
So...
Oh my god.
Like, being
Neon's
able...
going to California soon.
Lucky.
Yeah, it's going to be around.
So, it would be awesome to have that. And then I secondary, out of just like my love as a kid of Transfiguration and the idea of being able to, just classic magic of changing things into other things, I think I would do the animagus. I would just think it would be fun to have a form that you don't even choose, you just kind of inherit it and you blend in, and I just think it'd be more fun. But if I had to choose one... Besides those two, I mean...
I like how it was, choose one, you're like...
Okay, I am choosing...
First, top 5.
Well, my number one would be apparate. But if you're going to say that's not, because it's not, like, you have to be trained on it and stuff, or, like, because you have to be 17 to do it. I would do either... I'd probably do, like, I'm going to be basic and say, like, Accio. But...
Why? Why is that basic?
Oh, everyone says that because, like, you wouldn't have to get the remote off the couch and stuff like that. I think that'd be interesting, just to have something fly at you. Super satisfying.
Accio knife.
Or I could do, like...
crap.
I mean, if I wanted to be smart, I would choose a pisky, which heals minor wounds.
See, Deanna, that's what I was going to say.
Ah.
I was like, if we're not doing the apparate thing, I was going to say pisky. I was going to say reparo.
Reparo, when she fixes his glasses.
Yeah, because I was like, so many of my things in studio break. Imagine
That's
if you
true.
break your model and you're just like, oh, reparo.
Or if you drop your iPhone.
Okay, yeah, if we want to do
on a more, I was thinking on a more expensive route.
Well, yeah.
Or like your AC unit dies in the middle of 95-degree weather. That did not happen to us, but I'm just saying that would be terrible.
There's also...
You could also use it to help other people.
That's true.
Both Reparo and Episky.
Yeah.
But it is
Help some people in
minor.
hospitals.
I had to look it up specifically. It is used to heal minor injuries.
Yeah, it's...
So it wouldn't be diseases, so you still wouldn't be able to do that. But, I mean, like breaks, you could save...
Yeah, if you fall off a long board.
You could save puppies from having broken legs.
Yeah, what constitutes the threshold of minor to major? So I feel like breaking something might be too much.
That might be too much because you'd think, what's his face would have used that when Harry broke his arm playing.
Lockhart.
Yeah, Lockhart. He would have. What did he do in the end?
He made his arm jelly.
I know, but I don't remember what the spell was.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, stupid so maybe it's just like abrasions and.
Yeah, I was thinking just like any type of bruising or like
cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Reparo. I think I would probably choose Reparo over Episky then, if that's the case.
Could you fudge it and be like, my arm is technically broken, so Reparo can fix it?
I don't know. I don't know if that... I think it's probably inanimate objects. I don't know. Does it say it? I'm glad neither of us picked anything harmful.
The other thing that I was thinking about picking that I didn't even know was really
it's just broken objects.
Would be... I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly or not, but it's Geminio, which duplicates an object.
Oh, I've never heard of that spell. That's probably something.
It's just one of those Pottermore things.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
Just like fill the lore. Because there's also a spell underneath that forces a werewolf to take their human form.
Oh.
If that was there, why did Snape not use it?
Yeah. I'm surprised you almost didn't choose Wingardium Leviosa so you could fly.
No, that's only... No, I'd have to use Levicorpus. Because that's the one that lifts bodies.
But I thought Levicorpus was the one that flips you upside down.
Well, that one was always told as just like...
Levicorpus, a non-verbal spell that causes the victim to be dangled upside down by his or her ankles.
The way that I always envisioned Levicorpus was that you get to, like, control... And then Wingardium Leviosa was just objects.
I think it is just objects, but Levicorpus was specifically used as, like, a torturing kind of thing. Not torturing, but, like, as a punishment. It was supposed to be an attack, so I don't think it's something you could control whatever you want.
Well, then if there's a spell that's like Levicorpus, except not dangling, then I would maybe do that one.
Oh, this one's kind of cute. A cheering charm. Never heard of that one. Ooh, you know what would also be good? Liquid luck.
But that's not a spell.
I know. I just was thinking about potions and it would be cool. I thought potions would be cool too, but... Alahomora would also be...
Mobilicorpus, that moves a person.
Yeah. Alahomora would also be nice in daily life, just being able to unlock doors anywhere.
Yeah, but then locks are meaningless to wizards. So anybody can open your things.
Well, there were certain ones, I think, that couldn't be done.
Here's a good one. Tarantalegra forces a person's legs to dance.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Scourge! Oh my god. Scourge of Fire.
Rictus Sempra, the tickling charm. I forgot about that.
That one and Flipendo were big in the video games.
Flipendo! Oh my god. Please don't even bring up Flipendo, because all I remember... Flipendo! Yeah, was him saying it in that PlayStation 2 game. No, I think it was PS2 game.
It's all of the video games.
My sister had it. It was the Chamber of Secrets one, and all he says is, Flipendo! Flipendo! And it's like... Please.
Don't worry. I've played all the computer games.
All I remember is...
my aunt had them, and you always use Flipendo.
That's all... It was the only one that mattered.
She was using it... Then they transitioned to Stupefy.
Yeah.
That was like the
and Expelliarmus.
Well, yeah, that was
Expelliarmus is the classic, but...
Well, because that's meant to disarm, but then Flipendo was meant to actually, like,
kill them.
push something and
flip
like
something.
move it around.
She always used it. I just remember distinctly the scene with the flying books that would come out
Yep.
and attack you, and you'd always die within like 5 seconds. So you had to be very skilled about it. But
Yeah, it was good
anyway,
fun.
so we both kind of agree on that too, just in terms of.
If we can't teleport, then we would do practical ones.
Yeah,
is
raw
our
power.
consensus.
Well, I mean, I totally want to be an animagus, but
Well, yeah.
that's just for fun.
Yes. That would be for fun. That would be pretty cool. Just imagine walking up to campus as a dog, freaking everyone out, and then you just like flip back into class and you're just like, I'm a human the whole time. They're like, yeah, Deanna, we know it's you. We've been doing this for 3 months now.
Yeah, but everyone loves dogs, so it's fine.
Well, maybe you won't become a dog.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to be a dog anyway.
What would you be?
I don't know. I forget what my Patronus was on Pottermore.
An anteater.
Please, no. Why? Why would you say that to me?
Be really great and derpy.
Oh, that's mean. I forget what my Patronus was.
I don't know.
Sometimes they're
Never did
similar.
it.
But I don't remember. So,
I don't know.
I feel like it was a bird. Which I don't want to be a bird.
Thomas, why are you calling me? Thomas, if you're watching this, it's 10:19 p.m. and you're trying to call me in the middle of the podcast recording right now.
How rude.
So shame on you.
Well, it's okay.
I'll
'cause
call you back later.
It's okay. We're concluding anyway.
Yeah, we are.
So, in conclusion, would totally want to see aliens and would totally apparate to them if I could.
That's pretty good.
And also, Tim and I are stuck with each other for quite some time.
Yeah, we made the unbreakable vow
Yeah.
just to bring it full circle about Harry Potter.
We made some Horcruxes.
Dude,
They're built into.
don't get me started on Horcruxes.
They're built into all of our studio models.
Just like-
a piece of my soul is literally in every single model I've ever made.
So just imagine, I always thought this would be a funny little thing, is like, last thing Voldemort does is he puts a last remaining split part of his soul and just puts in a rock and just chucks it into like
Yeah, that's
the
what everyone
Atlantic
always
Ocean.
says.
Or the other thing I always said was like, they never, maybe they say it in the books, but like, could you make the Horcrux the center of the earth? Like, do you have to be in contact?
I'm pretty sure
with
it's
the
in
Horcrux?
contact. Yeah.
Okay, but still, what defines contact? Because I mean, if I touch any part of the ground,
It has
it
to
will
be.
technically
I thought
be
it had to
in
be a singular
contact.
object.
But it could be like just if you just think about a certain portion of magma that's in the center of the earth. Okay, then fine. What if this was the third thing that I always thought of, is what dictates an object? Because if you think zoomed out scale, the earth is a singular object. So you could just be like, the earth is my Horcrux. Boom, I just touched it.
No, I think it has to be like, you're thinking too bold here.
No, you're just killing my imagination.
I don't think it could be like matter that large. It has to be something you could.
Well, they never explicitly say that.
I think it needed to be something. Is an object in my eyes is something you can hold or just
I could hold
like.
the earth.
Touche.
Touche.
Horcrux the earth, man.
Dude.
I'm not holding you back.
That's how you'd be like immortal.
The thing is that Voldemort wasn't that smart because he
was a goddamn idiot.
He was too much all about the meaning of things and symbolism.
See, that's what I'm saying, is you gotta make it like not relate to anything. He would be a terrible person in real life.
I think also he
He was
probably
quite the
needed
trail.
things that he could keep track of too.
But they never said why. Like, do you need to check in and like touch it? Like pet it a little bit? Like, how you doing, bud?
I know someone's going to correct me on this. I don't think so. I think it was more in the terms.
I don't care about people correcting me. I'm genuinely
yeah.
curious.
No,
I
think what it is that you, for him specifically, since he knew they'd be sought after, he wanted him to be able to find them to protect them or to know when they had them.
Well, I mean,
plus
he would always know when.
Plus,
they would
the last
have
one
them
was
when-
Nagini. Yeah, the snake.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
that was right next to him. What an idiot! But
Well, I mean, that one was just like his safety net, the
Yeah.
one that he always had with him.
Right.
But I mean, like,
I don't know. I don't think...
you would know when someone has your Horcrux and destroys it because he goes, ah, ah.
Right, he does feel it, but I don't know.
Like, I would never, if I was to go that far.
Because he hid them. So,
Yes.
like, the one was in the cave, and he had a trap. You had to drink the water that made you see your worst fears. So,
yes.
or
But I'm
whatever
saying
the heck it
it's
was.
traceable. If you throw
Right,
a rock
well,
into the ocean,
I
you
don't-
can't trace that.
I don't know why. There must have been a reason why he didn't do that.
I'm
It
just
could have been as
thinking
simple as he wanted to be
plot.
dramatic.
Plot
Yeah, he could
is
have
what
been.
it comes down
Well,
to.
some people are dramatic like that. Even like mass murderers
Yeah, I
are
know.
like,
If they're
I gotta have a
super
stick, so
egotistical.
I'm gonna kill only blonde people. And it's like, why? That's the easiest traceable
But-
thing. Like, why are you doing that?
But Voldemort was never like, haha, you'll never find my Horcruxes. I hid them very carefully and kept them to memory and made them close to heart. Like, he never boasted about it. He was just, it was always like a mystery that he
I don't
even
think he-
made Horcruxes.
Well, I
up
also
until
don't
that
think
movie.
he even thought anyone would seek them out, really.
But
Well,
then
actually,
why would you run the risk?
wait, actually,
of...
he kind of did because he was aware of the chosen one. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't
And
know.
Dumbledore had the ring, wore it like an idiot.
Dumbledore's a terrible person.
All right, we can
Let's end
we
on
can
that.
end that. Okay. Already getting the Harry Potter fandom up in a tizzy.
Yeah, it's okay. We won't go there anymore.
Yeah,
Cool. That was the long and short of it, but it was actually quite long.
it was quite long. It
Yeah.
was the longest one we've done so far. An hour and a half.
Yeah, but worth. It made
worth.
sense.
Yeah, we had a lot
And-
to talk about.
Right.
Threw my name into distant something. Knucklepuck.
What?
I was trying to recall lyrics to a Knucklepuck song. I've got a
Oh.
lot to talk about. Something, something, something.
Oh, I'm not gonna know.
Yeah.
But,
It's the second song off Copacetic.
well, we'll be back
We'll be back.
in the next episode with some more thrilling content.
Check it out.
Definitely another Would You Rather, so keep coming
We'll keep
back.
them going.
We'll make them more wild next time. I wanted a more thoughtful one this
Yeah.
time.
Start grounded. And
But
then
we've
get extreme.
always had weird ones, so don't worry.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about some more stories.
And then eventually, hopefully, we bring in some of our good
Yes.
buddies that we've given
Mentioned at
shout-outs
least
to.
13 people so far.
Yeah, like John, my boy, he could get on here.
Yeah.
And tons of other people. Tyrus, we've already talked about Tyrus. Thomas.
Shout out to
mentioned
Tyrus.
Shout out to Tyrus and Thomas. Hopefully get them on the podcast too at some point.
Shout out to our 300 someday Snap Streak Tyrus.
Oh!
Living large.
That's true.
Number one fan.
Number one fan.
Cool.
All right.
Well, I'm Deanna.
I'm Tim. And this has been the long
And short.
of
It.
period.
End scene.
And scene. We'll see you in the next one.